Hello there, Tony Baker from Six String Country, back for yet another guitar lesson, and today we'll be looking at the solo from Whitey Morgan's version of Me and the Whiskey. This song was originally done by the Damn Quails. To play the solo like we hear it on the record, we'll need to use this G bender, which I've got on this guitar, which will let us do things a little bit more mechanically when we're bending, like stuff like that, but there's going to be a way to do it without the bender too. If you don't have a bender, every time I play something with the bender in the lesson, I'll talk about a different way you could accomplish it or something like it without the bender. So let's jump right in and start with how we get into the solo, the introduction to the solo. Here's how it looks. 1, 2, 3, go. All right, we're in drop D tuning. So this low string is usually an E string. We go down a whole step to where it's a D. It's the same as your 4th string, just an octave lower. And we're gonna start by picking that note, and then 3rd fret, and then open A string, open low D again, and then we're gonna slide in from 3 to 5 on the A string twice. Now we're going to walk this right up the minor pentatonic scale. All right, so 3 to 5 on A, 3, and then 5 to 7 on D, 5 to 7 on G, 6 to 8, and now pick the 8th fret, cluck the 8th fret of high E, bring it back down on the B string to 6, then 7 of G, and then 8th fret of B again, and 6 with a little vibrato. All right, from there again, 2, 3, 4. All right, now we're going to do something kind of similar. Here's the next riff that we play over a G chord. All right, now we're over a G chord, right? So if we think about G, position 3 pentatonic, kind of a classic country thing, right? So we're going, that's how we're starting. We're going to pick 10th fret of B and bend that up, and then we've got 10th fret of high E behind it. And then pick it while it's still bent on the B string, then 8th fret of high E. Come back down on B. And then as you, just after you pick this 8th fret of B, all right, so we slide up, kind of the 12th fret, and then we go 13 of high E, 15 of B, 13, and then, let's see, we got the 15th fret of G with a half bend, and you cluck that 13th fret of high E, middle finger on your left hand there, and that's that whole line. So we do this. Okay. Next up, we have this riff, and this is going to be the first bender riff, and I'll talk about it both ways. It goes like this, comes in on the and of 1, 3, and 4, and 1. All right, you can also do that no bender. And this one happens fast, right? So what we're doing, we're starting up here. We've got the 13th fret of B, and we pre-bend that 12th fret of G. So if you got a bender, you just push down all the way on your strap. That's why it's nice. It gives it that mechanical sound. You know you're going to be right there. You can do it with your fingers. All right, same thing down here. Then we're going to move, shift positions, and then we've got the 10th and the 9th fret, and we're going to do this. So that's no bender, right? We're just bending half bend on 9. Actually, it's kind of a full bend. It's right in between, and it goes so fast. You're just bending up and right back down, but you pick and cluck this. We're hybrid picking this, and you pick on both strings at the same time. Then you pick the 7th fret of G, and go down to 7 and 7. This time it's half bend, and down to 5 of G, and then set up on 5 and 5, another half bend, and then 4 of G, and then quick pull off 5 to 4 on G, then 7 of D and 5. So that whole thing again, we'll do it with the bender. And on these ones, you don't go all the way. Right? You're just pushing down just a little bit on your strap, just to get it kind of in between a half and a full bend there. And with your fingers. All right, so that's a pretty easy one to do without the bender. And then we're going to slide into this next riff. So we slide into the 7th fret, open G, then 5 to 7 again on D, 5 of G, and then we do this kind of classic blues move. 7 with a bend, 5 of E and B, bar that, so we hit the B string first, and then high E string, 7th fret of G, 5, hammer on to 6, and then 7 of D, and then 6 of G, 7, and 5 of B, which we cluck. So closer to full speed, it's all right. So let's look at that in context coming out of the last riff. So we went. All right, now we're to the next riff. I'll continue going. All right, that's what we're learning next. So we're coming out of, and now we're gonna get our pointer finger, 5th fret of D, and ring finger, 7th fret of G. Put your pinky down for 7th fret of B, 8th fret, 5th fret of high E. Then we're going to do this. So we're going 7, 7 on G and B, and that's the 9th fret of the D string. We're clucking with our fingers here the G and B string, and we're picking the D string. That's that move. We're going down to 5 and 5 of G and B. Okay? That's how it looks even slower. Just got to do that. It's kind of tough to get in tempo, but start slow and then work your way up. And then we do this little open string pull off riff. Okay, so that's, you get on the 4th fret of G, get ready with your 2nd fret behind it, and then we're going to go open. So we go pull them off, and then 3rd fret of D, open G, cluck that, and back to the 3rd fret of D. And that's that riff. All right, so that whole thing. All right, one more time, a little slower. All right, now we're into the second half of the solo, and it starts like this. right, so we start right on the open G string, 2, back to open, 2 to 4, and then 3 of B. Then you got 5 and 6 of G and B. If you got a bender, pre-bend it, pick it and cluck it twice, hybrid pick it, down, and then go down to 2 and 3, and pull it off. Get that 2 bends, pull it off to open G, and then 2 of D, open. This is where the bender you can really tell, because this is kind of a tough bend. You'd have to go, see already, the bender does pull them out of tune every once in a while. So we go. And that will work just fine, right? So we're just pre-bending this with our fingers. Then you really got to give this some juice and maybe get your first finger behind there too. Okay, next we have this. All right, all that is we're 3-2 open on D, 3 to 5 on A, open D, open A, then go all the way up to the 7th fret, slide into 9 on the A string, 7, 7 of D and G, back to D, and then 9th fret, bend, and to 7 on the G string. So. All right, now we're over an A chord. And so we're going to end on this A chord riff like this. Very cool riff. So we're starting up here. With the bender, you just push down and slowly pull it down. If you're with your fingers, you got to pre-bend that to the right pitch. Come back down. And then same kind of thing. Right here is, it's right on our position 5 pentatonic for A, right? So we're doing another, this time come down though, and then get to that 2nd fret of G. So if you're doing that with your fingers, this is where you can kind of really tell it's a bender, because it's a cool riff, and that's really tough. You could probably go. So you'd have to go. That's pretty tough, but you can do it. I got a couple fingers supporting. Whereas if you got a bender, you just go, right? You push it down with your Strat. The final riff to end the whole solo, we slide in from, we're barring 1 and 2. We're barring the 1st fret of G and B, and we slide that into the 2nd fret, and we're going to hybrid pick it. So we pick both strings at the same time. Back down, pull it off, then 2 of G, then open A, 3rd fret, and open D. And then you just let that ring out. And then to get back into the riff, which is 3, 2 of A, 3 of low D string, then open D. Because that's the riff, right? Let's go one more time from the very top of the solo. I'll give it to you all the way through, nice and slow. When you're ready to play it at full speed, it's about 78 beats per minute, and you can do it along with the jam along video. Here it is. 2, 3, 4.